Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize prepares to welcome CARICOM and Central American leaders. Prime Minister comments on IMF visit, and family shocked and saddened by murder of loved one with mental illness. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Las tradiciones son atemporales, pero mantenerse al día es necesario. DigiWallet me permitirá hacer todas mis compras favoritas. Es fácil y seguro. Solo es agregar dinero a mi DigiWallet y ya puedo irme de compras en mis tiendas locales favoritas. Oye tú, a mi familia le encanta. A mí también. Es nuestra nueva tradición. DigiWallet, próximamente.
Are you looking for the right product to keep your family and your home safe? Then Spark Alcohol is exactly what you've been looking for. It prevents the spread of many diseases. It's also fast-drying, safe, and conveniently packaged in a spray bottle. Protect your family and your home with Spark Alcohol. Exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, February 25th. I am Annalena Polonio. Police are investigating the murder of Jose Guzman, whose decomposing body was discovered on Wednesday morning with a gunshot injury. But News 5 is being told that leads have been hard to come by because the 25-year-old had a mental condition and was not a violent person. It's been a difficult time for his family as they are perplexed by his killing. Dwayne Moody looked into it today.
On Monday night, shots rang out in the Jane Usher Boulevard area of Belize City, and police had responded but could not find the crime scene. But then on Wednesday, there was a report made of a body near the port of Belize, and cops went back to the area. After hours of search, around 10:30 a.m. that day, they discovered the decomposing body of a man. His identity at the time was not known. This tattoo is what caught the attention of Joey Guzman's relatives.
Girl, you need to come down and make we go see if this person is Joey, because this person have what exact tattoo like Joey, and I not see Joey for 2 days now. And so she got home and then she see the picture and then she called me and she said, "Carm, that Joey." And I tell her I know, because I always tease Joey about that tattoo. I always tell her, Joey, that who put tata do hende on your hand, because the gawali tata do hende looking man thing with some bricks. And she come and then we gone through the procedures and thing, and they tell we're part from Migrant, and we identify her, and I made a prayer and hope that no he when they open the bag, but that me he.
Carmita Lester says that the family grew worried when he didn't show up for lunch 2 days in a row. He was last seen alive by them on Monday afternoon.
He usually comes here to eat every day, so we noticed he came on Monday. Tuesday we not see her, Wednesday we not see her, and Wednesday I hear that they may find one body back at port and thing, but I never paid no mind. So yesterday during lunchtime we had a busy time, and I just clicked my phone, my Facebook thing on my phone, and when my phone got straight pan the news thing we say they asked if anybody could go identify what John Doe, and I never read nothing else. I just read that, and when I scroll down and I see the tattoo, I run out of the back kitchen and I tell my mom, I say, "Ma, this is Joey." And my mama say, what? I tell her, yes, this is a Joey tattoo. This is a Joey.
Joey, as he's affectionately known, had a mental health condition and was not a violent person, so the family is crushed by his killing. They're asking why.
We can't understand, like, who would I want to kill Joey? Like, for what? Because he was not even a violent person. You know, everybody all comments, everything what people say about Joey. Joey I have never seen Joey violent. He had a home. I just want everybody to know he had 2 homes. He had a Mother Ladyville and he had a auntie. One of we auntie that Roaring Quick part, he would have gone and stay for months. You know, but that just the mental illness cause and fee, you know, walk about and no one stay one place. But Joey may love to walk about.
So he had a mental condition?
Yeah, he had a mental condition. He was not in his right senses, you know. The only thing I could say, they kill him out of pure idleness. Probably.
You know, we know that his body was found in the port area, which is past Jane Usher, like wrong Jane Usher area. Is there a reason for him to be in that area?
He have some family by mother's side we live the Port Loyola area. I know he have some family, so maybe that's why he go walk back there. Cause a lot of people message and tell me that they see him in a Yabra area. So I know he have some family back that side. I'm not sure exactly where, but he has family back at Yabra. So I guess that's the reason why he go take a walk back there. I wish if somebody knows something, if they would have, you know, at least come forward and say something, you know, but I doubt that won't happen. So we just wait for the postmortem and then we are laying to rest.
According to police, the body was discovered with at least 1 gunshot wound, and they're asking for the public's assistance with information. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
To address the sharp decline in revenues and the resulting increase in pandemic-related expenses, the Briceño administration presented a medium-term recovery plan at the start of the fiscal calendar in April 2021. The objective is to reduce the crushing public debt to 85% of GDP by 2025 and to 70% by 2030, which would be achieved by implementing fiscal consolidation, growth-enhancing structural reforms, and debt restructuring. Since then, significant progress has been made towards restoring debt sustainability, including a debt for marine protection swap to buy back the $553 million super bond at a discounted price of 55 cents to the dollar. Activities in construction, transport and communication, tourism, as well as wholesale and retail trade are projected to further grow real GDP by 6.5% this year. The unemployment rate has also fallen to 9.2% since the second half of 2021. Earlier this week, Prime Minister John Briceño commented on the favorable review his administration has received from the International Monetary Fund, which concluded its 2022 Article 4 consultation with Belize on Tuesday.
If you look overall, we have cut down costs, not only on the wage bill, but even in the expenses of running the government. We have managed to cut it down substantially by millions of dollars, and the IMF did point that out and commended us for doing that in the goods and services. We held the line and saved millions of dollars from that end. We know that people are suffering, we know that people are punishing, we know that the cost of living continues to go up, and it would be unconscionable if we would say, oh no, we're not going to because the IMF. And I told the IMF that we also have a responsibility to our people, to our citizens, and we're going through a difficult time. It's not only about the numbers, but it is financial numbers, but it's also about people.
Caribbean community heads of government are preparing to meet in Belize on March 1st and 2nd for the 33rd intersessional meeting. In a CARICOM interview, Dr. Carla Barnett, the CARICOM Secretary General, spoke of the significance of this meeting being held in Belize.
It's significant for me because obviously I am from Belize, and it's going to be my pleasure to welcome heads, colleagues from the Secretariat, delegations from all member states to Belize. The meeting is going to take place in San Pedro, which is on Ambergris Key, which is an offshore island. And for us in Belize, it's going to be a pleasure to welcome the dignitaries from the Caribbean. And for me, it will be double a pleasure because, you know, it's kind of poignant. It's kind of, you know, very special to be able to do that.
Aside from the CARICOM CETA meeting, there will also be a visit from the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. It's an exciting time for islanders, including Belize Rural South Area Representative Andrea Perez.
It's nothing new for our island. We are very much prepared. This community is prepared and we always rise to the occasion. As I speak to you right now, we are making all preparations, both at the airport, the roads, everything prepared that leads to that. And this is nothing new. We're very used to international events, right? International events, we're very much used to it.
So the UN Secretary General is also going to be here.
One of them, world leader. Yes, world leader is coming here, right? Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Coming up, William and Kate make a date to visit Belize. Find out when. They will be here when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. The wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields folly. Beverly King, a wealthy businessman, lived in Graham, Texas. He was a stockholder in the local bank and owned a nice hotel there. He was at the local garage in his overalls one day when a man passing through town had car trouble and stopped for help. The mechanic diagnosed the problem and informed the owner that he would have to have the repair parts shipped to him the next morning, but he could fix it and then quickly send him on his way. The man said that would be okay, and turning to Mr. King in his overalls, thinking him to be someone just hanging around the garage, asked if he knew someone to help carry his suitcases to the hotel. Mr. King said, "Yes, I can do that," and reached down and picked up one piece of luggage in each hand. Walking down the street, the man said, "I noticed driving into town this huge, beautiful home on the hill that must be 7,000 to 10,000 feet in size." He then asked, "Who in a small town like this would have the money to own a house like that? Do you know who it belongs to?" Mr. King replied, "Yes, it belongs to me." Being amazed, he asked, "Where in the world did you get the money to own a home like that?" Mr. King replied, "By carrying my own baggage." Hard work brings profit. Who is carrying your baggage? Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Who offers the best home internet experience? The truth is, Digi, of course. Diginet has the largest fiber network and the fastest speeds with the most reliable service. That's more learning, more earning, more gaming, more bonding, more sharing, getting more things done. And now, Diginet is even more affordable with the new entry plan, a 20 megabits per second fiber connection for just $49 monthly, and increased speeds in all plans. The truth is, only Digi has the ultimate home internet experience, with savings up to $270 when you bundle. Wireless and cable can't give you that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up or make the switch to Diginet today to enjoy more speeds to get more done. Digi, or National Telecom.
forest firefighters. Some days, we joke around while we work. Other days, we put our life on the line. Mother Nature can be cruel, with intense heat that burns our forest. But there are many times when human carelessness is to blame. We've seen it all. Poor use of fire to clear land, maybe for farming, burning garbage, or illegal burning for hunting animals, leaving campsites without properly outing campfires, to people disposing cigarettes where they shouldn't. One small spark can lead to an enormous wildfire. Our job can be dangerous, but we take the risk to help protect our forest and wildlife. In turn, this helps protect our way of life as citizens of Belize. We help to ensure access to clean air and water, securing jobs helping the timber and tourism industry. You can do your part. Always obey the laws regarding fires and be fire-wise. Learn how to prevent, prepare, and protect yourself and our forest by calling the Forest Department at 822-1524 or find us on Facebook.
The effects of COVID-19 on regional economies and education systems will be a matter of priority at the 33rd CARICOM Heads of Government Intersessional Meeting. Secretary General Barnett says member states will be discussing ways in which the region can get back to normal in the face of COVID.
One is that there are still a set of very young children who have not been able to be vaccinated at the rate that we would want. That's a 5 to 11-year-old, so that's a priority. The idea that all our member states seem to be saying is that we would want to get schools back to normal, but as safely as possible, and therefore vaccinations is a part of that. So that's one of the priorities. The other priority, of course, is ensuring that as we open up our economies even more and more, as we have to, that we are incorporating and ensuring that social behavior is in keeping with the reality of a pandemic. We really cannot stay locked up, because if we stay locked up, people have to produce, they have to eat, they have to do their business every day, and you can't do that in an extremely constrained social setting. Therefore, the notion that we have to free up, that we have to open up, makes sense. But we have to do it in keeping with what the scientific information says about how the pandemic is evolving, how the virus itself has evolved, and what the main concerns would be, which continue to be, we have to protect our most vulnerable populations.
Following the March 1st and 2nd meetings in San Pedro next week, CARICOM leaders will engage Central America's leaders at a CARICOM SICA Heads of Government meeting. This is to be held on Thursday, March 3rd at the same location. It is the hope of the CARICOM Secretary General that this meeting will lead to enhanced cooperation between both regions.
There's going to be a meeting immediately following the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. There's going to be a CARICOM SICA meeting, which is a meeting of the two large integration groups in Central America and the Caribbean. And the reality is that the CARICOM countries and the Central American countries together probably circle the Caribbean Sea. And therefore, there's a commonality there that we have to recognize and see how we can work together better to get mutual advantage out of that. And so there's a long conversation that has taken place about increasing collaboration and cooperation between Central America and the Caribbean. The heads meeting takes place in Belize. Belize is uniquely placed because Belize is a member of SICA and a member of CARICOM. And so who knows, maybe we get enhanced cooperation coming out of the meeting as well.
Mm-hmm. Channel 5 will be bringing you extensive coverage of the entire week's activities. Heads of government will also address growing concerns over the leadership and humanitarian crisis in Haiti. According to Dr. Barnett, leaders will speak with Haitian representatives to further understand how the Caribbean community can offer greater support towards the stabilization of Haiti and its people. And then there is the issue of the Caribbean single market economy, a strategy that leaders are looking forward to implementing now more than ever as a part of the solution to the region's economic crisis.
I think what the COVID pandemic has emphasized for us is the real importance of being able to support one another, combine our efforts in economic development, invest in each other's countries, making sure that where there are opportunities, those opportunities are shared. Where there are risks, we address them together, because at the end of the day, within the CSME, that's really about our future. And we learned it as we battled to get access to vaccines, for example. We learned it as we had to treat with the food security issue, that at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves. And one of the key parts of taking care of ourselves is ensuring that we develop the CSME as best we can. And yes, we admit upfront that there have been delays in implementing key aspects of it. I was a part of a discussion a few days ago with the Prime Ministerial Subcommittee, and I would have to tell you that every single Prime Minister, every single minister, every person around the table recommitted to CSME, because people understand more than ever know that in fact it is critical for us to get the CSME going and properly, because the advantages are there.
And when the CARICOM and SICA meetings are over, the international spotlight will remain on Belize with the visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Those dates were just confirmed by the Belize government to be March 19th to 22nd. The visit to Belize is the first stop on their Caribbean tour, happening as part of Her Majesty the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. During their stay in Belize, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge will have an opportunity to see Belize's pioneering work in coral reef restoration and visit the southern part of the country, where they will visit with Maya and Garifuna communities. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Immigration is coordinating the visit. The royals will also be going to Jamaica and the Bahamas on their tour. After the break, suspected disease among exotic birds, this time illegal peacocks.
I've always enjoyed the different flavors of my country. Every nook and cranny has its own unique taste.
Our history, rich with culture. We've come so far since our independence. Our flag, rivers, mountains, our people, diverse and strong.
Looking back, I am proud and honored. We must continue to preserve and conserve our culture and country for the next generation.
This is our Belize. Respect it, cherish it, love it. Who offers the best mobile experience in Belize? You don't know? Well, the truth is, Digi, our national telecom, of course. Digi has the largest mobile LTE advanced network with over 96% countrywide coverage, offering the fastest mobile LTE data speeds at the most affordable rates with mobile plans that fit your lifestyle. The truth is, only Digi gives the ultimate mobile LTE experience. Visit your nearest Digi store to join the bigger, better network today. Digi, our national telecom. Visit us online at www.livedigi.com.
La Unidad de Energía del Ministerio de Servicios Públicos, Energía, Logística y E-Gobernanza realizarán una encuesta nacional sobre el uso de la energía del 2 de febrero al 20 de mayo de 2022. La encuesta abarcará todos los sectores económicos de Belice y la información recolectada será usada para apoyar políticas energéticas y ayudar a planificar un futuro sostenible para el sector energético de Belice. Si su hogar ha sido seleccionado, un encuestador visitará su casa con una identificación. Las empresas recibirán un cuestionario en línea para completar. En ambos casos, el ministerio solicita su amable colaboración. Esta encuesta está financiada por una subvención del Fondo Mundial para el Medio Ambiente, por medio del Banco Mundial como organismo ejecutor del proyecto, dentro del Proyecto de Resiliencia Energética para la Adaptación al Clima.
The ministry is collaborating with SpeedNet Communications to have a vaccination campaign for children ages 12 to 17 years. Children who get vaccinated will get a chance to win fabulous prizes, including backpacks with supplies, Nintendo Switch, tablets, book tuitions, and MiFi with 3 months data. Only children 12 to 17 years old can participate in this smart and Ministry of Health and Wellness raffle. At vaccination sites, each vaccinated child, upon being vaccinated, will receive a ticket to place their name, age, date of birth, BHIS number, and contact information on, which will be filled out by a parent or legal guardian. The sooner a person vaccinates, the more chances he or she will have to win. Get vaccinated, Belize! Vaccination saves lives.
Concerns over disease in some peacocks have prompted tests for 2 types of avian disease. Officials at the Belize Agricultural Health Authority have ruled out the presence of Newcastle disease and avian influenza. But Baja officials fear the exotic birds that were smuggled into Belize may be suffering from something else and could pose a risk to other wildlife if they are not quarantined and the disease identified. News 5 got wind of the report today and contacted the acting managing director of Baja, Francisco Gutierrez. He explained why they could only screen for 2 diseases and the risk associated with birds and other animals that are brought in illegally.
Some lab requests came in for our lab to test for Newcastle disease and even influenza for samples for peacocks. However, these came back negative. So we never really determined what was the problem. Again, these were samples sent to us and requested to do those tests from a private clinic, animal clinic. So it's not like we had access to the birds for us to run a whole battery of tests. If somebody, a veterinarian, sends samples for us and tell us to test for ABC, we do ABC. Unless we're doing surveillance, and then we determine that we need to run a much wider set of tests to determine what's the problem. These were peacocks from somewhere. They walk them across the borders, across rivers, across areas that are not monitored. We have an open border where anything can come in, really, and we plead with people not to do it. We plead for them to come to us first and for us to do the due diligence. It's not prohibited per se, but there's a process to go through to ensure that these species being proposed for importation go through the risk analysis process.
Guterres says if people follow the laws regarding wildlife importation, it would save the government and importers a whole lot of money because the procedures would be followed that would detect if diseases are present.
This issue points to precisely to the issue that we've been concerned about, that our regulations and laws are not there to prohibit anything, any agricultural initiative or anything of that sort. Our regulations and laws are there to prevent disease from coming in and really affecting the commercial stock, as well as, livestock, poultry in this case, that belongs to families, backyard operations, etc., because it's a food security issue as well. So, yes, these are some of the things that really concern us. Legally, yes, if we detect anything, then we have protocols, procedures, eradication procedures, etc., even to quarantine full areas if that is the case. But once something gets into the country, if there's a potentially damaging disease, it can spread. And what do you do? Even if you are able to prosecute somebody, it doesn't solve the problem. The last avian influenza outbreak we had in the western part of the country that entailed us quarantining the whole Spanish Coast area costed the government of Belize about $6 million.
Unfortunately, Baja's Francisco Guterres says that when people do not follow the law on wildlife importation and it results in an outbreak of some kind, it is difficult to take court action. Because of this, Baja is about to review the laws and propose ways to make them effective.
When it comes to an infected animal being detected, it's not very easy to be able to prosecute something with the current legislation, because in any case, even if you had that provision, it becomes extremely difficult to prove that it was done willingly. And then, as I said, not really catching them importing the animal illegally can be challenging in court. Because I might say, well, I bought it from somebody who bought it from somebody, and then tracing the origin of the animals then becomes very complicated in a legal matter. The excuses will be never ending. I'll ask the receipt, or the parent animals died, or the person is no longer here. I bought it from somebody who was living in the country, left, they give me the animal. And so it's pinning down the origin then becomes, even when they know precisely what they may have done, pinning down the origin of the animals is not easy. And then in a court of law, they will throw it out.
A man who was caught red-handed in possession of wild animal body parts was found guilty this week and fined $2,000. The prosecution followed a search at the premises of Reuben Baylor of Springfield in the Cayo district last week. Officials confiscated pieces of dead animals as well as live ones being held in cages. Forestry personnel retrieved jaguar, coati, crocodile, and other animal skins, teeth, feathers, and paws. He had no permits for any of this as stipulated in Section 19 of the Forest Act. Baylor appeared in the Belmopan Magistrates Court on Wednesday and paid his fine, avoiding jail time. Forestry personnel have placed the animals that were caged in rehabilitation so they can eventually be released back into the wild. Just ahead, Bowen & Bowen partners with the luxurious Alaia Hotel. Find out about their collaboration when we come back. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
This weather update is brought to you by Smart. This weather update was brought to you by Smart.
The official migration from Belize Bank Corporation Limited to Belize Bank Limited will take place over the weekend of February 25th to 28th, 2022. This means that as of 3 p.m. on Friday, February 25th through to Monday, February 28th, Belize Bank Corporation Limited customers will not be able to access any online banking, debit card, and in-branch services. The BBCL ATM network services will also be unavailable starting the morning of February 25th, 2022. We apologize for this inconvenience and encourage customers to prepare in advance by topping up their eCash wallet or ensuring they have the cash they will need. As of March 1st, your new Belize Bank Limited account number becomes effective and you will be able to access all the great services of Belize Bank. You will be able to use your new contactless debit card at merchants countrywide, have access to a wider network of ATMs, and be able to log in and access all the great online features. Your old account number will no longer work, so you will need to provide your new Belize Bank Limited account number to all the persons and firms you do business with, including your employer. Please note that the new account numbers have already been provided for all Government of Belize employees. We welcome you to our Belize Bank family, where you will enjoy lower fees and excellent customer service.
Do people actually hear from God? Are there really angels and demons? Okay, now that's just unbelievable. In our next series, we're going beyond the Google search and facing the tough questions. It's time to take on the skeptic and eliminate the doubt. From inconceivable to unimaginable, we're talking about the Bible's most unbelievable truths. Every second of this series will be worth your while. Believe it or not.
In these trying times, Smart is here to lessen the burden. Smart's reduced roaming rates save you while traveling. Calls back home are a low 35 cents per minute when visiting Canada, the US, and Mexico, or pay as low as 50 cents for calls when visiting countries in the Caribbean, Central, and South America. For the month of February and March, enjoy an unbelievable low rate of 30 cents per megabyte when roaming with mobile data in Canada, the US, Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. Whether you are a business traveler, studying abroad, visiting loved ones, or just traveling for pleasure, Smart's new roaming rates have got you covered. Roaming in China, Europe, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean is as low as the cost of making a local call. It's that low. Smart's roaming coverage continues to grow, so you can also enjoy affordable roaming rates in several destinations across the globe. For more information on rates to other countries, visit our website or call 1090 for more details before you travel. Smart, bringing people together.
An exclusive beer known as the Alaia Pale Ale is being prepared by Belize Brewing Company for the Alaia Belize Autograph Collection hotels in San Pedro. The mixture is a hint of grapefruit and two aromatic hop varieties that are new to Belize, Amarillo and Centennial. It comes at the request of Alaia to have a distinctive brew that would be available exclusively all year round on tap at the resort. A memorandum of understanding was signed by both companies ahead of the production of its first batch. David Craig is the Customer Service Director at Bowen & Bowen.
We have a new microbrewery, and when
Alaia asked us to brew what they call a white label or a private label beer for them. We said, sure. We asked them to tell us what type of beer they wanted, and if you know anything about the 2.5 craft beer, we're doing a variety of very creative beers right now. They told us they wanted a pale ale, and we got together with the creative team and came up with a formula for it. We made them test it, and we brewed it for them. So it's a wonderful way of extending partnerships, right, and relationship building. Alaia, as you know, is a new customer, fairly new in San Pedro. It's not just an Alaia, it's Alaia Autograph Collection, which is, I think there are only 180 of them in the world. Marriott, as you know, is one of the 2 or 3 best brands in the world. So we thought that putting 2 brands together would be perfect, you know. And so we entered into a relationship. We drew up a MOU, and here we are. We sent them a first batch about a month ago, and they've completely used that batch. A batch is 10 hectoliters, which is about 17 50-liter kegs, and they've completely used that up. And now we sent out another batch for them this week. So it's really a marriage born in heaven. You know, we love to show creativity in what we do at the microbrewery, using hops from all over the world and also using local ingredients. Very innovative.
The MOU between Belize Brewing Company and Alaia Belize also includes a co-branded crystal bottled drinking water. Both companies agreed as well to partner with each other to ensure that packaging from all Bowen & Bowen products used at Alaia will be recycled. The cross-promotion invites new audiences to enjoy the company's products.
On the MOU, we also have co-branded, what we call a co-branded water. Crystal, as you know, is the best water in Belize, clearly. It's the most trusted water. It's the only approved water for like the army and all these big groups that come in. And we thought it would be a great idea to put the Alaia label and the Crystal label, half and half, on the Crystal 500 ml bottle, and have it sold exclusively or given away exclusively at the resort. And certainly the resorts is going to expand. I understand they're already looking at a new property, a new location. So we're quite happy with the volumes that we're going to produce. They committed to a certain volume per year, the same thing with the beer. So that's, and then they asked us, they said, okay, Dave, how can we make sure that these bottles don't go into the waste, you know, don't be seen on the waste side? So we told them, listen, we're going to take them back for you. Normally, some customers would have to bring them in, right? They have a beautiful system of recycling there where they separate all their garbage. And we have an arrangement where they take them to the sales center in San Pedro and we pick it up. And we also pick up all of their packaging.
Up next, this week's episode of The Bright Side with Sabrina Daly. Stay with us.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average of about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Connecting people. Creating memories.
Hey guys, so here we are at the Glaze Out Kitchen. I just prepared this amazing broccoli.
sharing a smile. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway, from Roaring Creek to Esperanza, has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
For decades, Belize has been a beacon for people fleeing conflict or violence elsewhere in Central America. This week, Sabrina Daly brings you the story of a young woman we will only identify as Anita, who had to leave everything behind in El Salvador to come to Belize. And while this bright high school student is aiming high academically, she also wants to become a teacher so she can say thank you to the country, enabling her to continue her education free from fear. Here is this week's episode of The Bright Side.
You might think you are just looking at a regular student, but Anita wears the pride of attending a top secondary institution in Belize on her shoulders, and she carries a full academic load focused on the sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics.
She is definitely a pleasant young lady, and personally, I'm going to start it personally. When I was ill, and whenever she would text me, ask me how I'm doing, and always very, very respectful. She's hardworking. Any student pulling a 3 science major really does not have time to waste. and her grades are a testimony of her commitment.
But commitment aside, there is more to what meets the eye of this Edward P. York High School student, Anita. Inside the confines of her classroom, she is described as a brilliant student, curious about the laws of physics and intrigued by philosophy. But beyond that, there's a story only few know. Anita is a migrant whose family is seeking asylum in Belize.
The reason I came to Belize was because in my country it was very dangerous at the time. My father or my older sister would go and pick me up from school, drop me to school and everything. But there was this time that due to my father's job, his responsibilities and stuff, the gangsters from the area, they tried to, attempt to, and were like watching every step we made, if who went to pick me up this day, who went the other day, and then that because they wanted to kill me due to his, yes, due to his profession, because he was a police officer at that time.
Anita and her family sought refuge in Belize 6 years ago. Her father, who did not want to be identified, says they had no choice.
Era algo como dejarlo todo.
To me, it felt like leaving everything for nothing. But at the end of the day, it was a matter of life and death.
Tell me about your experience starting, coming into a new country, one, not really knowing anyone. You have some family members here, but you said you were loved in your old school in El Salvador,
yes,
and now you're here in primary school, your last year of primary school, and you can't speak English. What was that like?
It was sad, first of all, because, I couldn't get along with everyone as I used to. Only 3 or 4 girls in my class. The boys were very nice to me. The teachers.
Not all Belizeans were welcoming. In fact, discrimination would be the common theme in much of our life here in Belize since the transition for safety, a human right.
From standard 5, even people that didn't go to school, non-teachers, just people from outside, let's say neighbors and just people from outside, they were saying that I wouldn't graduate from primary school. I graduated from primary school, thanks to God I did. I actually became first place in PSC and first place in all the subjects for my class. We have the small merits, certificates, all of that.
Anita shares that her experiences of being an asylum seeker goes beyond finding refuge in Belize. Even without the same documentation as other students, she feels compelled to give back to the country that took her family in.
Well, since the country is small, I would like for it to develop so more like the other countries, because Belize is seen less among the other countries because it isn't as developed. Us, for farmers that are about to go to college, UB, we're going to be professionals, and most of the people studying here go abroad to continue their studies or perform their jobs, but I would like to stay and help Belize grow.
We have had students from other parts of the world, not limited to even our territory, that have graduated from here in some similar situations.
So I hear you're studying one of the hardest subjects ever. What do you want to be?
I have many things in mind, but I guess the main thing will be making a major in physics. Science, I love the branch of science, any branch. I initially wanted to be a teacher. I didn't care about what, just teach, because I love teaching. I know that I found about physics and all the things that one can know about the world itself. I believe physics or philosophy, also because it has to do a lot with mind.
Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Annalyn Apollonia. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.